we? Listen. Now y'all may have seen the part 1 and part 2 of the short video, but in this video I'm gonna give y'all the full recipe to these oxtails. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing I'm gonna do is start off with 1 green bell pepper. Okay, I'm using the whole thing, Now set that to the side. I'm going to use 1/2 of a yellow onion. I'm gonna go ahead and dice these up. They ain't gotta be pretty because they gonna melt inside of the pan when they cooking. Then I'm gonna use 4 cloves of fresh garlic because you already know, baby, it ain't no recipe if it ain't got garlic in it somewhere. Okay, so after I got those garlic peels peeled, after I got the garlic peel, I'm gonna go ahead and add it in the bowl. Now I'm using 4 stems of green onion. Now my knife dull, so before y'all say, I already know. If you don't like it, then send me a new one. I am accepting gifts, okay? Then I'm gonna add a whole Scotch bonnet pepper in it. Now I do want to warn y'all, if you don't like spicy, please don't add that Scotch bonnet pepper in there, because that thing is hot. You hear me? Now for the seasoning, I'm using 2 tablespoons of oxtail seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of complete seasoning, a 1/2 tablespoon of smoked paprika, a 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 1/2 tablespoons of Jamaican browning. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now the only reason why I use Italian seasoning is because I forgot to get the fresh thyme out the stove, so I'm just using that as a substitute. Now as far as oil, I'm gonna use a 1/2 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I forgot to add the carrots in there, but you can put however much carrots you want. So I added the carrots in there at the end, and I'm gonna mix that up until it's all nice and coated and let that marinate for about 3 to 4 hours. Now let's get to cooking. So in a pan on medium high heat, I'm gonna drop them oxtails in there. Now you don't want to overcrowd the pan, because if you overcrowd the pan, it's gonna make the oxtail boil as opposed to getting the sear. Now once I got those seared in batches of 2, I'm gonna go ahead and add all the oxtails back inside of the pan. Then I'm gonna add water in there. Now listen, this oxtail gonna call for a lot of water. Okay, you're gonna be using a lot of water because these oxtails is gonna be cooking over a period of 3 hours. Now this part is pretty repetitive, so if you want to go ahead and skip forth near the end when I add the vegetables in there, you can do that. But the only reason why I wanted to show this is to let y'all know I added water into this pot with these oxtails about 5 times. Okay, and now about 30 minutes before the oxtails is ready, I'm gonna go ahead and add them vegetables in there. I'm gonna mix that up and let that cook. Now after that, 10 minutes before the oxtail is done, I add a little bit more water in the pan because again, you need a whole lot of water. But 10 minutes after these oxtails is done, I'm gonna go ahead and add the white potatoes in there. Now, don't confuse these with Idaho potatoes. Now, these white potatoes, I don't know the exact name. I call them white potatoes, but don't use the Idaho potatoes. So about 10 minutes before the oxtails is cooking, I added those potatoes in there, and I'm gonna mix it up so that the potatoes are fully saturated inside of the water. And I also add butter beans in there, a 16-ounce can of butter beans that I strained. I forgot to show that part, but I did add butter beans in there. And it's okay because I'm going to give you the full recipe in the comments as well as the description box. And the oxtails is done, baby. Look at that.